So today I went to the immigration to extend the tourist visa so I can stay another month inside of Bali, and I want to explain the steps that you need to do so that you can prepare in advance for if you want to stay for 2 months inside of Indonesia. First thing you must do is when you arrive in Bali airport, before immigration you need to purchase a visa on arrival. Normally, for 1 month, if you stay less than 1 month, you don't need a visa. But you want to be able to stay 2 months, then you need to purchase a visa on arrival, which costs 50 Singapore dollars. So make sure to bring some cash, either US dollars, Singapore dollars, or I think euros, and you can purchase that at the airport before immigration. You give 50 Singapore dollars and then you get a small sticker with a stamp on your passport with the date on it when you arrive. And with that, later on, you can go to the immigration in Bali, Nusa Dua to apply for extension. So you do that after 3 weeks. You are already in Bali. You go to the immigration office. You ask for the form to extend your visa, and then you fill it out. It's your name, your address abroad, your office address abroad, your job title, and your address in Bali. And I think they also ask for a local person's name. Also, I think you can use anybody you already talked to. You just write their first name. Here in Indonesia, many people only have a first name. They don't necessarily have a last name. So on their ID card, there's often just one name. So that's okay if you just put one name on the form of that person. Then on the back of the page you have to write the reason why you're staying and also sign the paper. But before you do that, you need to make a photocopy of your passport, the page of your passport and the page of the visa with the stamp on it, and also a print out of your ticket to leave Bali. So the ticket needs to be dated within the next month when you will have to leave the country. I mean, even if you still want to come back here, you still have to leave Bali first, like go to Singapore a few days or one day, or you can even return on the same day. So you have to have that ticket to go out of the country within the time period of the next month. So with that visa on arrival, you can stay maximum 2 months here. So again, to recap, when you go to, before you go to the immigration, you make a photocopy of your passport and a printout of your ticket to outside of Indonesia, for example, to Singapore, and it has to be within that time period. Like maximum you can stay is 2 months with the visa on arrival. So within that time period, the date of your plane ticket. And then you take a ticket at the immigration office, which is in Nusa Dua. You take a ticket and then you wait for your number, and then you have to keep that number. If you lose it, then you have to get a new one. So you have to keep that number and then give it to the counter, and then they will give you a red map. You have to fill out your name and passport number, and then put the forms inside that red folder, and then you give it in. And then you will have to sit down and wait for maybe a quarter of an hour, like 15 minutes. Then they will call your name, they will give you a receipt. So once you get this receipt, you will have your name on it and your passport number, and also a date when you need to go back to the immigration office to make your photo ID and a thumbprint and pay for the visa extension, which I think cost around 400,000 rupiah. which is around maybe 30 US dollars. So that date will probably be around 5 days later. So 5 days later you go back and do the photo ID and thumbprint and pay for the visa extension, and then they will give you another receipt with another date on it to pick up your passport when it will be ready, so probably another few days later. So all in all, I think you need to go 3 times to the immigration office. First time to give in the photocopy of your passport, your plane ticket and formula, the form to fill out the extension. And then the second time to take a photo ID, thumbprint and pay for the extension. And then the third time to pick up the passport with the stamp of approval on it, or what they call it. So the best way to go to the immigration office is if you rent your own motorbike or you use a motorbike taxi, which is called Go-Jek. You can download the app. It's like Uber, but for motorbike. The reason why motorbike is not only because it's cheaper, is because you are much faster through traffic, because on that road where the immigration office is one of the main roads, and it's always a lot of traffic. So at least the motorbike can pass through the cars. So that's why if you are on your own, it's much better using a motorbike to save, which will save you about double the time as opposed to using a car or a taxi. And also at the immigration, there's very limited parking, so that's another reason why to go with a motorbike. It's easier to get a parking, or if you use the motorbike taxi, you don't even need a parking. You just order online from your phone. I'll put the link to the app in the description. So that was the procedure to extend your tourist visa for another month, and after that you need to go to Singapore or to another country nearby if you want to come back, and you start the same procedure again. You buy a visa on arrival at the airport and do the same thing. After 3 weeks you're here, you start the process again. So if you have any other questions concerning that, or other questions about Bali, please leave a comment and I'll try to answer if I can. Hope you enjoyed this video and stay safe.